and it came with instructions, and the instructions were about useless.
What did the instructions say?
Not much. It was mostly just pictures, and very poor pictures. So I had to just look at the thing and go, this is how it goes together.
This one's got pretty pictures, but it's also got talkings on it. And I read it too, and it didn't help. Like I said to dude earlier, like, yeah, it said to... What did it say? It said
To change person, change person.
Oh, yeah. To switch piece, or something really redundant like that. And it's like, well, great. That's useful. It's not. So, pictures it is, and...
Sometimes they can be more informative than the words.
In this case, there's, like, all kinds of little doodads that come with this one. So, it's got...
What is it?
A tennis racket and a little birdie that you hit with the tennis racket, which I actually don't understand that. Maybe...
Stop beating your bird.
No, it's been a while since I've watched any of that, and I clearly remember Black Lady. I just don't remember when she ever played badminton.
And why she beat a bird.
Wait, your Sailor Moon figure has a badminton racket?
Yeah, that's what this racket is here. Like the tennis racket looking thing is racket, but it's for badminton because it's got a birdie that comes with a racket. That's what they call it.
Comes with a little birdie too?
Yeah, for hitting the thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, but...
But that's something you lose real quick when...
Well, yeah. But also...
It's tiny.
I can't remember at any point when Black Lady played badminton, so...
Who cares?
I don't know anything about Sailor Moon, so I don't even know who that is.
Oh, but she's got a cool scarf. Like, I opened it up to see why the box was twice as thick as normal, and that's because they gave her several accessories, and they're all, like, on the bottom section, which is wacky. I mean, they all of them come with a stand, but they just kind of cram them in there. This one is bigger.
It needed space for that scarf.
Yeah, this awesome scarf. I like the figurines. They make me happy.
It's pink.
Yeah. It's more of a fuchsia, so a darker color, kind of like a rose dipped in honeydew in the May springtime.
So pink.
I mean, man stuff. Beer and knives. Yeah, and that's man.
Steak. Red meat.
Oh,
not cooked at all.
Peggy, that's not even a Wednesday.
Yes, I'm sure that they'd have a lot more of my money if they had all of your figures.
Well, I already have a lot of them. I just need a couple others that I could think of, and that's pretty much it. Unless they go off and make something crazy like Black Lady here, which I didn't know. It's like, well, I didn't even know anyone.
I actually really like the creepy totem pole with the different hands sticking out of it.
Oh, yeah. For all the different hand functions. You can see on the piece of paper here.
They give you a totem pole to put all the hands on?
Yeah, look at the little totem pole.
Well, yeah.
It's like...
I mean, the earlier ones I got, they just sit
like a
in
weird
the box and you have to, like,
tribal
not
decoration
them,
where they just tacked off enemies' hands and nailed them to a big pole.
Just stuck them onto like a totem pole.
I don't think that's historically accurate.
Probably not.
But that would be awesome.
Nah.
Maybe that's where totem poles originally came from. They just put heads on a pike and then a whole bunch. And then it's like, hey, look, it's a totem pole.
I don't think so. Probably.
But they rot away, so they're just like, yeah, we'll just carve it out of wood.
I'm not sure to be offended by that or not. Yeah, somebody will be offended by it,
Luna
I'm
P
sure.
ball.
A what?
A Luna P ball.
Okay.
The cat head?
Yeah.
That makes it a pea ball?
It's a Luna P ball. Like the letter P, capital letter P, hyphen ball.
What is a pea ball? Is it just a cat head?
I could answer it, but do you really want me to? It's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain.
So, Chibi Usa-chan in the show, or, whatever, manga, anything, really. She's followed around by a thing called Luna P-Ball. It looks like Luna's head, except it's a big cartoony ball thing that floats around, follows her. And she can use it and transform it into stuff like umbrellas or whatever the hell she wants. And it does other stuff too. And it just follows her around. And she can use it to, like, record messages and do lots of neat things. It can do stuff. And when she turned into Black Lady here, it still followed her around, except it was like an evil version. It was all like, ooh, I'm all evil and goofy and malicious and delicious, just like all bad people. And that happened, but for not long.
So, does she have to feed it jelly beans to make it change forms?
No.
Okay.
This is not Bowie and his blabba trouble on Blablonia.
All right.
Okay.
I think
I'm
it just
lost.
runs on Duracell. No, I don't know. It's just what it is.
Yeah, boy and his blob, you have to feed the blob different jelly beans to make him change into different things.
Yeah.
Change
Like a
into
ladder
or a trampoline or something. Actually, he turns into an umbrella too.
Yeah. I never played that.
I played it briefly, and it was like you kind of have to figure out which jelly beans turn him into which things.
It's not immediately self-explanatory, which I think some people didn't like. I heard about, but at the same time,
that's kind of like other games I like that aren't explanatory on what you do.
But I think the blob's name is Blobbert.
That's pretty good.
And I think he's from a planet called Blobolonia or something like that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Blobolonia. Yeah.
Written instruction manual.
Okay.
Just like these instruction manuals say right here, Luna P-Ball.
I think that
Black Moon.
I think that the
version.
flavor of the jelly bean you feed him sort of ties in a little bit to what he turns into.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, how would you know if, like, I need a ladder and he turns into a springboard or something dumb, and it's like, that didn't work. You'd have to be able to tell them apart.
It's either trial and error or you figure out the weird little pun that they're trying to make with the flavors and what he turns into.
Peanut butter and smelly. Now it smells bad and enemies die. I don't know.
So,
I can't think of any puns. Anyway, speaking of goofy names, what the hell are we calling this now? This here, us now, you.
oh yeah, this podcast is now called Nerd Stuff ... Ampersand Things.
All spelled out phonetically.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Okay.
We have a name.
But I can't say.
What's your name?
Oh, I can just choose anything now.
Yep.
I don't have to. I'm gonna have to think about this.
His name's Jason.
God damn it. Fine.
What's your name?
I'm pretty sure it's Lauren.
Okay. I don't have a name.
You just nameless voice.
Yeah. No, I'm Wes.
So this is the
What?
something cast. I'm gonna have to. I'll work on some short cast version of
Of the name that
The
we've
name.
come up with.
Nerd stuff
something
and things.
catchy, because otherwise it's not catchy, and then people don't remember it, and then they'll be sad, and we don't want that usually.
Actually, I want everybody to be sad,
Oh,
except for me.
well.
Because that would make you happy if everybody was sad.
Yeah. That's why I hang out with you guys.
Isn't
No.
it great?
Great. Okay.
It
No,
makes
but,
me happy.
but it's usually Jason making us sad.
That's-
So Mario
yeah,
Party
actually-
3. Oh, we played Mario Party 2 the other day.
Have we done them all yet?
50 turns all in a row, which was fantastic. And no, we still have, I think, 6 left to do.
Yay.
As in
Dang.
Mario Parties 5 through 10.
How many do we actually own?
1 through 4, which we've played.
Yeah. I
Mario
have,
Party 5 coming soon.
I have to admit that out of all the fucking Mario parties we've played, 2 seemed to play the fastest.
Yeah, we actually played all 50 rounds in one sitting.
Yeah, and it took what, 3.5 hours?
Something.
Too long, but it didn't actually feel like it was that long.
We didn't get so bored that we're like, okay, enough.
I think it was all the the absence of all the random battle games that made it go faster.
Yeah, Mario Party 3 introduced a lot of DMX Goomba battle shit, and I mean, there's still the battle games in Mario Party 2, but they're way less common.
Yeah.
Like in Mario Party 3, the last 5 turns, if you land on the same space as someone else, you automatically do a duel game. It's like, that just... When there's 5 turns left, even I am kind of like, all right, let's wrap this up, you know, kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do the duel games because they're dumb. It's like, oh, count to 5, press the button, whoever's closest wins. It's like, that's dumb, and the computer just bet all my money because they're monsters and thieves and
That
duels.
was awesome.
No!
Even though I admitted that Mario Party 2 is probably the best Mario Party game, it still doesn't mean I like Mario Party in any real sense. It's just the least torturesome.
It's like saying the poop you took that day wasn't as bad as the poop you took the other day when we played Mario Party 4.
Yeah.
It came out better and smelled less.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the first I'm hearing of all this Mario Party hatred. What gives? You realize we do have 6 more of these to play.
Hopefully we'll never find them.
Oh, but Mario Party 5 looks fun because you get like little capsules and you can stick them on the board, and it's like I made my own Koopa bank and now it'll appear there every time, and it looks like you have to pass it and then you have to put 5 coins in, but it could happen to you too, so watch out, and you can do it with other things.
Stuff and things.
I don't see the point in buying all the Mario Party games.
I do.
I don't.
It's because they're fun.
Until they get one that has all the good mini games and none of the bad ones.
Well, until we get one where Boo Diddley says spoon. I did say I will quit Mario Party cold turkey if Boo ever
hope
says
that's
spoon.
5. I sure really hope that's 5.
Yeah, we haven't played it, so
I've
it's
seen
possible.
a lot of footage from those games, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't say spoon ever.
I'm gonna write it on the screen.
Just no post note.
Yeah,
stick
I'll
it
just
over
be
the
going
text.
into the bathroom, come back, and see spoon on the screen. Go,
See, he
oh,
said
well, I
it."
guess he said it. Why is your TV leaking red marker? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just they're all. I know they all introduce something new, but they're all essentially the same fucking game. I can see if you like Mario Party for some god awful reason.
Well, all the Mario games, you're doing platforming in all of them.
I could see maybe buying every.
You jump in all of them. You get coins in all of them. You land on platforms.
I could see maybe buying every 4th one. There's so many. Why?
There's 10, and then there's one on the Advance, and one on the DS, and possibly some kind of trading card e-reader type thing.
When did the first one come out?
1998, I think.
So about one every 2
The
years.
same year as Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, one Mario Party game every 2 years is way too many.
Well, that's Nintendo's
They
fault,
should
really.
put one out maybe every 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree there's a lot of these games, and I don't know why, because...
Or even just one per console.
Yeah, like
Like, why are there 3 on the N64 and how many fucking one on...
4 on the GameCube.
4 on the GameCube? That's too many.
There's only 2 on the Wii and 1 on the Wii U. Yeah, well, yeah, especially if you look at other franchises, like, I'm trying to think of one that's franchise, like, not Zelda.
Smash
hasn't
Brothers, maybe?
spin-offs. Maybe, yeah. Or, like, even F-Zero.
Mario Kart.
I mean, yeah, or Mario Kart. Even though, yeah, Mario Kart's perfect, because they've had a Mario Kart on every Nintendo console and handheld since the Super Nintendo came out in 90.
Do they have more than one on any console?
No.
See, there you go.
And even then, like, Mario Kart Wii was the point where we started looking at Mario Kart and going, yeah, they kind of fucked this up because the power slides are terrible with the boosting.
Yeah,
and
when they
the motorcycles
changed
are
it,
dumb and the levels are.
I love the
stupid.
motorcycles. The motorcycle was fun. They screwed it up in the recent one when they took out the motorcycle being able to do wheelies and go fast. That was like the whole point of the motorcycle. Is like, hey, look, I can do a wheelie and go faster than everybody else, and that made it easy to win.
Whatever.
And I
Essentially,
usually won.
everyone agrees that Mario Kart DS was probably the last really superb Mario Kart in every aspect. It had like 8-player multiplayer. It had like the normal good battle mode, and even like you can give yourself like 5 balloons in that instead of 3 by blowing up the balloons yourself. You can, play it 8 players. They had Block Fort again from N64, which was the best.
I think I remember hearing some people say it was their favorite.
It had some great levels in it. The mechanics were solid. The physics were good. And you could still do the manual power slide boost charge thing left and right crap, which caused people to screw up their DSs. But if you're doing that, you're doing it too hard and too much. Take a break. It'll fall off. You'll go blind.
Aren't you able to play the DS one with friends who don't own a copy of the game?
Yeah.
It's just that they have to be...
it's like a limited scope, like a temporary download
They can play like
sort of thing.
multiplayer thing with you.
You could do that with the Game Boy Advance one also, but like everyone was limited to Yoshi, and you only got like 4 levels to play or something dumb. I mean, it still works, but yeah, it's better if you just have a copy of it. But
yeah, but at least you're able to play it with friends that haven't bought it.
yeah, because the DS sold really well, and it's very likely everyone probably owns at least one DS. I have like a couple myself, and then the 3DS, which also plays DS games, and yeah, it's very easy to just like, hey, everyone, grab your DS. We're gonna play Mario Kart.
Well, it's way better than the Game Boy Advance. Hey, everybody, grab your Game Boy Advance and your Game Link cable and your power cord and your lamp so you can see. And then everybody's
I've got an SP. I don't need a light.
Gathered around
the battery
this
needs
2-foot
charging.
square,
Crap.
going shit.
Bring out the power strip.
Well, chargeable battery is a lot better than having to switch batteries all the time.
Double A's.
Yeah,
You get
but
great battery life, but yeah, the
They
screen
had
on the
the
Game Boy
AC
Advance
adapters,
was
but,
dark. You could not see that screen.
Everybody
or
had to have their
any
own
lighting
light.
unless you had like a lamp right over your shoulder.
That was like with the GameCube, where you could link the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube and play those games, like the Zelda one, which was awesome. But they could do that so much better now with the Wii U and the DS. It's like, why not
They
remake
have
those?
communication between each other. Like,
Yeah.
you can use the 3DS as a controller in Smashers.
So why don't they re-release those good games that you had to have that massive monster cord pile, just nightmare,
Game Boy Advance Squid.
and then re-release it on the 3DS with the Wii U or something, or just release it on the Wii
Did
U
you
and the
have to-
3DS downloads whatever you're playing.
Did you have to have some sort of a splitter to play with more than 2 people?
With
Yeah.
the Game Boy Advance, if you were playing just multiplayer amongst other Game Boy Advances, like you connect the first two with the connector
You had a
cable.
connector
In the middle
cable.
of that connector cable, there's a piece where you can plug in
Another-
third connector.
So
and
you
then
plug out
so
of
you'd
that
have,
into another controller.
you'd have 2 Game Boy Advances plugged together with one, another 2 plugged together with another cable, and then a third cable that connects between the first set and the second set of 2 in the middle.
No,
So 3 cables. That's how it does
it.
it.
Was cable, then one cable into the first cable, and the other end into a DS, and then another cable into the middle of that one into another, a Game Boy Advance, whatever. But it was really convoluted.
You need 3 cables to play 4 players.
Yeah, essentially you need 3 cables plugged into each other, and then each Game Boy Advance had to have their power supply, and then you had to have
one
lamps.
person-
At least they thought that far ahead, though, instead of putting out a splitter.
Oh yeah, special
thing.
plug-in. They actually did that for the original Game Boy. One of the games actually had like 8-player multiplayer or something, some fucking car race game from a billion years ago. They released a special link cable just for that, and maybe a couple other games used it, but as you can tell, it was a weird idea, especially back then, so it didn't catch on. And even connecting 4 Game Boy Advances was like kind of a monumental task.
Yeah.
Plugging them in the GameCube for like Zelda or Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was easier because you'd use the Game Boy Advance connector to Game Boy controller plug-in. So you're basically using the Game Boy Advance like a GameCube controller. And that's easier, but it's still crazy.
Probably one of the better ideas for like more than 2-player multiplayer for a game, for a system like that, was Mario Golf. Because then you could just pass it around. You just
Oh,
have,
you can
have
play that
one
with just one
Game Boy
controller.
Advance and just pass it around.
Who wants to pass around their Game Boy? Somebody else might
Or
drop
controller.
it.
Or be eating Cheetos and get it all ickety.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
It's better that everyone buys everything all the time forever in case everyone wants to play something at some point.
it's better for Nintendo anyway.
I want them to re-release
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the new thing where you don't need your Game Boy Advance
I'm
because
sure they have some remake
that would be
or something.
awesome. That was a fun game and nobody ever wanted to play it because it was a pain in the ass to hook up everything. But it was a fun game.
Zelda was fun too, but same problem with all the connectories. And even if you get it all going, and then you have like the one friend who's like, "What's this? Fire rod? Oh, everyone's on fire. We're all dying. Thanks."
Stop killing
Unnamed
us.
person who is killing us.
I think his name is Wes.
No, I don't think he ever actually played that one with us.
Well,
That
it
would be
sounds
what
like
Wes-
me
Oh,
when
we should do that next week. I gotta get this. Oh, that's why we gotta bring that.
It sounds like me when we play a lot of multiplayer games.
Well,
like
yeah. I was
uh,
referring to someone else, but yeah, in the case of just in general, like, I suppose certain multiplayer games can be crazy.
I was thinking of when we played Super Mario 3D World, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, the
You
goal
guys
is just
kept
to get to the end of the
killing
level, right?
every-
And I just started running ahead of all of you. And then I realized that it was making you upset, and I kept doing it because of that, because it made me happy.
I was trying to get the secrets and all the coins. I could have got 1,000,000 1-ups, which we needed because everyone is fucking dying and stealing my lives because they kept fucking dying more. But no. They all just want to jump around like jackanapes and
Yeah.
be spooters.
It's supposed to be a challenge to play with friends.
It's
Not
supposed
easier.
to be fun and better
And I decided to purposely make it more of a challenge.
to.
Because
Some of those levels
Yeah,
are
it's
already hard
fun.
enough without interference from less than reputable sources.
you know what we should all play next week? Terraria.
Well, how would we do that?
You'd have to buy the game.
What?
Well, it's on Steam.
And my computer is 1,000,000 miles away and too much to travel.
That's what internet is for.
It never works.
Don't you have it on a system, though?
Yeah, I have it on the 360. Well, my old 360. I don't have it on my new one. Although I did
That
just
one.
buy another hard drive because the last one I bought for it disappeared. And yeah, but the new one I got, I was at the store, and I mean, the first one I bought was like $150 when I bought it.
Ugh.
The one I just bought was $25.
What?
Wow.
$25.
What a deal, what a steal.
And for the 500 gig hard drive, and it's like it was on clearance, so they were getting rid of them, and it's like $25 for that. I'm buying this. Where's somebody with keys? I need keys now.
Yeah.
You can't pass that up, especially if you don't have one and you've been putting it off because they're expensive and you don't play it that much, and then you see that and it's like, I need that.
Yeah, if I don't find somebody with keys right away, I'm gonna smash the glass and take it.
Yeah, just walk up to the front counter with bloody hand and slap it there and be like, I am buying this.
I actually heard when I was talking to the employees that somebody had pried their way into one of those lock cases.
Really?
It took them, I think they watched the cameras, it took them like half an hour to pry it open and get what they wanted out of the case.
Classy.
And nobody noticed.
Wow.
Apparently there was like one employee who walked by, like right directly behind the person, like 5 times.
You are so fired.
And didn't do a thing. Didn't notice a thing. And didn't notice this person crouched down there prying a thing open to take stuff.
What was he stealing?
I think it was a DS or something.
Christ.
It was like, really?
Wow.
That's just kind of ridiculous.
You know, I expected that store to go to hell immediately as soon as you left it, and it did. And actually, the other...
Well, it was kind of already in hell.
Well, yeah, but, like, just give up all hope. Not even a shred of light left. But, yeah, the last couple of times we've been in that store, as it were, we encountered lots of just pallets of crap in the aisles, in the way, everywhere, like by the bikes and shit. They probably threw them down somewhere. They're like, oh, there's not many people walking around back here. Drop. And they must have got bitched at finally, because we went in there yesterday and they finally had gotten rid of all that crap. It's like, wow, someone must have finally got yelled at enough times to actually stop smoking pot and flicking their bean to go out and move the damn cardboard boxes of shit.
Or you just got there early enough that they hadn't put it there yet.
Yeah.
Which is more likely.
Just lucky and happened to be in between them actually not having it there and them setting more crap there.
Yeah.
What a dump.
Yay. Fun.
No, I don't like going there at all. Even more than ever, it's just icky, stupid. The store's full of methamphetamines.
So what have you been up to, Wes?
Learning stick shift.
Oh yeah, you got a new automocar.
Yeah,
So
finally.
You can drive again now that you haven't had one for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
You can drive up to our house, and then we can play Mario Party all the time.
I don't have a car anymore.
Oh, what happened to it?
I lost it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Too bad we can't play Mario Party all the time.
yeah, that's too
Yeah,
bad.
you've just gotten it too.
Oh well.
Yep.
Better
So, yeah.
luck next time.
So yeah, learning to drive stick shift now.
Yeah, I'm almost 30 and I never learned. So I guess it's never too late.
Crunch, crunch,
Yeah.
crunch.
Yeah, I've only had a little bit of practice with manual.
I have watched a lot of people use manual transmission, and I think I pretty much have it figured out.
I'm sure that you do. It's actually not horribly difficult once you just
Yeah.
start doing it, but
Said
Yeah.
the hardest thing was like the timing.
It's
yeah, and
multitasking.
it also, I guess, makes it easier. Like if you learn to drive first, like all the checking your mirrors and all the BS, just the very basics of driving.
so you
and
don't have
then
to
you-
worry about all of it
Yeah,
at
so you don't
once.
have to worry about everything at once.
That makes sense.
Because my brother learned on a manual transmission, and yeah, I guess both my sister and my brother did, and
You got lucky.
yeah. Well, I think I just said I don't want to learn that because I don't want to. Just I really didn't want to deal with it at the time. I still didn't really want to, but I mean, this is my mom's old car, so she's selling it to me for really cheap, and I couldn't pass it up. So I was like, I guess I'll learn now.
Because
Damn it.
you'd like to have more than a 2-mile radius of places to go.
Yeah,
Uh,
but let's see. Other than that, I read the first Trinity 7 book.
only how many? 5 more? Yeah, 5 more to go.
Until
so far.
we get another.
Yeah, and we just, as you're looking at it, I just bought the volume 2 of Space Dandy.
Which apparently is the last one.
Yeah, it says volume 2 final.
Which-
and so
Like I was saying earlier, I had some books that are like, there's only 2 in the series, like Fooly Cooly, or like Persona 4, or Persona Labyrinth Shadow, whatever the fucking like spin-off Labyrinth one was that had Persona 4 and 3 characters. Like they had a couple books on the Persona 3 side, and it was like I read 1 and 2, and 2 was like, this is the last one, done. And I was like, oh. And then I read the first and second of the Persona 4 side, and I get to the end of the second one, and it seems like it's gonna keep going, so maybe they decided not to do 2 in tandem because they're so similar, you know. After a certain point, it's like, well, all the characters met up, so they're doing the same thing, basically. Which is fine. And if they're going to pick the Persona 4 side to go with, that's even better, because I think Persona 4 is way better than Persona 3, and I really am trying hard to like that. I bought a Persona 3 manga that shows like the events of the beginning of the game, but I've already played that part, and I mean, it's a good adaptation. It's just like this still doesn't really make me care about the characters or world or setting as much as Persona 4. It's just, for whatever reason, Persona 4 just caught me instantly. It's like I cared about the characters and like their plight and learning about them and their world and what the hell's going on with the TV and Teddy and all that cool shit. And like them trying to solve a murder and like save their friends. It like gives you a clear goal for the game. Persona 3 just starts out, it's like, oh, here's some kid, and now he's at this new school, and here's a bunch of people, and yeah, they all can use personas, and they have to fight monsters. You should fight monsters occasionally at night. Why? The building turns into something called Tartarus, and it's a tower, and you go up it, and you fight monsters, and you have to get to the 5th floor, because why? They never... Maybe they say later. Maybe the game gets way better, because I've heard people say Persona 3 gets really good too, but... At least for the story, but... I've yet to see it, and I've played for several hours, and I'm still... It's just not catching me. The characters seem like not as good cutouts of the Persona 4 characters, which is ironic, because Persona 3 came first. And
Yeah, I'm wondering if so many people like Persona 3 just because...
They played it
when it came out.
And I can see that maybe, but even then there's mechanics that just don't work for RPGs and in general. Like, sure, Persona 4 fixed these things, so you can look at that and go, well, Persona 4 is better because they did these mechanics better. But, I mean, Persona 3 came first, and there was other RPGs way before Persona 3 that didn't do these dumb, weird things that Persona 3 does. Examples, you say. Well, I'd be glad to give them in detail. Well, okay, so like the characters get tired when you battle in dungeons. You're in the dungeon, whatever. And after like 10 battles against, shadows, the character's like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go back to the entrance, bye. And you can't really do anything about it. And if you fight when you're tired, they just miss more often and, fall on their ass and stupid shit. That shouldn't exist. Or if it does, there should be a way to make them not tired, like give them coffee or something. No. Even Deadly Premonition has them beat on that.
I have some
Christ.
caffeine pills.
A $20 game has them, yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. You remember that episode of Saved by the Bell? Where she gets addicted to caffeine pills.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like singing, I'm so excited, I'm so scared. And Zach has to like comfort her because she's a dumb broad.
Just smack.
She was like the worst
upside
character
head.
in the show too, so it's okay.
I
This
never
is like
watched
the
it.
really
So I don't know.
watered down drug episode.
Yeah, like the drugs are bad, PSA
Drugs
at the
are
end and all
bad,
that
Kai.
shit.
You shouldn't take caffeine pills.
Like Screech climbs out of the locker at the end and goes, drugs are bad, and goes back in the locker, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, last night at work we were watching
Caffeine
We
pills.
were watching.
Oh
It
no,
was
I'll just stick to my
Family Guy.
hydrocodone and Xanax, thank you very
They had
much.
Family Guy on, then it was Stewie and Brian were going cross country to California to find his dad.
Yeah, that's
and,
an old one.
Brian wakes up to like this
Oh,
RV
yeah,
they're in, all
Stewie's driving,
shaven, and Stewie's like
off-road.
off road in the middle of the desert, and he's like talking super fast. It's like I got these caffeine pills from this trucker at the last truck stop. He's told me to take one, so I took them all, and then
I took
we're getting
all
there.
of them.
We're going west. That's the right direction. West. It's like we're not even on the
We're
road.
pioneers, Brian, just like our ancestors. Ah! And then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
crash, and then he immediately like falls asleep, passes out. It's like, yeah.
Drugs are fun,
Oh
Kai.
no!
Caffeine pills.
The horrors
from a
of
trucker?
caffeine pills. Yeah. Well.
So yeah.
Anyway.
I know what kind of caffeine truckers take.
Yeah. Really. Colombian white caffeine. Oh, fine cut. Yeah. But anyway, in Persona 3, it sucks when they get tired. Also, then you have to like spend the next day like getting not tired. Like you can fall asleep during class or wake up and pay attention. It's like, why do I have to choose?
Because they were up all night.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm so tired because midnight hour. It's like, well, if it's only an hour long, like, why is... I don't like it. That means you can't, like, level up properly in dungeons, and then they tell you, like, oh, you'd better get to maybe floor 10 before next full moon. It's like, why? I don't know. Well, I did that, and it's
'Cause
like, wow,
monsters.
there's a really hard monster, like a boss monster of sorts up there, and guess what? I'm having a hard time fighting it because I can't build up my guys because I have to go fast or otherwise they get tired. And if I spend too long on the floor, apparently something real nasty shows up to chase after you and make you wet yourself and die.
Sounds like a
And
fun
I think
game.
I know what that thing is too. I met it in Persona 4 and killed it a lot, but it's optional in Persona 4. It doesn't happen. You can hang out in a dungeon as long as you want. I mean, when you run out of SP, your magic essentially, you're kind of screwed
but
anyway.
It takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while. And once you run out of magic, you're pretty much like, well, I guess I might as well go home and rest and they'll refill all my stuff. I mean, you can pay Fox for, a fill up of your SP, but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah,
So,
it's
usually
not
it's
really-
better to go
It's
to
not
sleep.
really worth it. It's because you can spend a good deal of time
Yeah.
before you run out of SP.
And it's nice to have the option
Yeah,
to leave or not. And
Yeah.
if you're smart about it, like I am in Persona 4, you can spend as long as you goddamn want in a dungeon and build up your guys as much as you want.
Well, that's kind of what you got to do in any RPG is spend some
Yeah, you gotta
time leveling
build 'em up.
yourself to make it easier. I mean, you can rush yourself and have a hell of a time barely getting by.
And that's what I feel like I have to do with Persona 3, but then it's like I don't even know why I'm doing it because the story hasn't kicked in. It's just like here's
Because-
some guys that are sort of watered down versions of the ones I know from Persona 4. Here's fake Yosuke, here's fake Chie, here's fake whoever, and oh, we're gonna go up a dungeon and fight shadows, but oh, everyone's tired. Oh, I guess we'll go to school and sleep during class. And the other major gripe I have with it, you can't control your party members directly. In Persona 4, there was an option you could have them fight automatically, which is stupid, or you can be smart, put them on manual, and then you control them just like you would control a party in any other RPG ever, basically. And I understand the idea like, oh, you're not them, you're you, the protagonist, so you shouldn't be able to control it. But then at the same time, well, you're the team leader in both
So
games,
you
so you
just-
should be able to give the goddamn commands.
The
That's what they
idea
say in
is
Persona
you're
4.
telling them what they should be doing.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
And in Persona 3, you can't. All you can do is like choose between different behaviors. Like, oh, you're gonna heal mostly, maybe. You're gonna attack mostly, maybe. And it's terrible. I hate it. I want to control them directly because they're doing dumb things like wasting magic or items, and then they get tired and leave anyway. So I guess it doesn't fucking matter too long. The one interesting mechanic that game has going for it, when you're in a dungeon, you can tell your party to split up and they'll like run off on their own and explore and fight monsters on their own, build up on their own, and look for the exit. And if they find an exit or items, they'll like notify you and you can call them back or go to where they are. Like if they find the exit, you can just warp there and go to the next floor. That's cool.
That's one thing I wish I could do in Persona 4 actually, because
Yeah.
you end up wanting to use like the same 3 people in your party.
Pretty
and
much.
Then it's like, well, if you want to level up any of the other people, you have to switch them out, and it's like, well, like,
And
Yeah,
then
that
they're
was my
real
problem
weak
with
because
Final
they're in
Fantasy
a
VIII.
higher level areas. So your options are to go back, fight wiener monsters until they're stronger, or hope you can survive them a few battles.
yeah,
Yeah, unless you level them up evenly, you're faced with that problem. And
And
some people just say fuck it and stay with the same 3 dudes the whole game, which is probably the ones.
That's
that
what
start
I
with.
did in Final
yeah.
Fantasy VIII.
I tend to
use them all.
I tend to lean towards the people that I've started with at the beginning because
Yeah.
I've known them the longest, and
And
like, well,
you're familiar with their battle
I like
techniques
Yosuke,
and
I like Yosuke and Chie and
Yukiko.
Yukiko. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like Kanji and Teddy. The
Yeah,
others
I
as
like the other
characters.
characters too,
but,
but I,
Like as the story goes, like you can do their S-Link story hangouts, and you never have to fight with them.
yeah, but then when I'm like adding party members, I'm like, well, maybe I'll use kanji.
But then you see like,
Sorry,
oh, he
Yosuke.
has crap magic and
Yeah,
like Zio.
And
Oh,
then-
this will
and
be
then-
useful.
and then I kind of feel guilty for not having Yosuke join the party. I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry, buddy.
Oh, my best friend, I gotta let Kanji in. He's like, yeah, get bent. Ugh. And then you dump his ass after one floor. He's like, oh, I thought I was part of the team. Ugh. Hey, Teddy, you want to hang out? No. All right.
It is kind of funny. when you run into your other party members just randomly in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
What
if
are
your
you
S
doing
rank is
here?
high enough, they have a chance of showing up, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I got this bone senpai for you, senpai."
yeah.
Kanji gave you a bone. He does. He gives you a bone. It's a bone.
And sometimes you'll run into Fox too.
Which is cool, because then it's like, wow, now I can pet his head and get maybe a chest key, and if he's feeling good, and get like a
Yeah.
Healy Doodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's so good. I spent pretty much like 500 hours on it, and I'm playing through for like a 4th or 5th time now. And I think I'm at the kanji dungeon, or just about to finish it again.
Mm.
I love it so much, and you should play it too. Teddy misses you. Ghoul misses you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
requires
Come on,
time
Wes,
to
come
play
back. I miss you
things.
so much. Don't hate me.
I'll come back for Teddy, but not for Ghoul.
Oh. But if you get Ghoul, you can make Black Frost. He's awesome.
Well, I think I have a Ghoul, but
Well, you don't have to...
I'm not fond of him.
All right, fair enough. He's kind of a jerk.
Oh, come on.
But you can use him to make Black Frost, and Black Frost is the, how do the kids say it? The schnizzle dizzle wordio.
I don't think they say that anymore.
Oh. Help me, Space Dandy. What do the cool kids say?
Boobies!
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, wait, no, damn.
You're not finding something fast enough.
Don't hold back, drink up. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. Don't hold back, drink up.
Don't hold back. Drink up.
Yeah, so Persona 3 is pretty rough. I mean, I really want to like it, because... And now that I'm somewhat familiar with the characters, either through osmosis or the manga where, you know, it's Persona 4 dudes, but also some 3 guys, like they show up and it's like, oh, wow, you can use Personas, also neat. And the bit I've played already for a few hours, I can't say I'm invested, especially not to the degree I was with 4, where it's like instant, like, man, I want to know everything about this game and characters and world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if 3 at least had interesting characters and their motives laid out and some clear defined goal for me to do, great, other than fight shadows. Or if the fighting was as good as it is in 4. If it had one of those things, but it doesn't, and it's just rough. I kind of want to give it another chance now that I read that Persona 3 manga. It was just like the first 20 minutes of the game, so it's like, well, I already know what happens, but...
It seems like even if it was some weak motivation, like the shadows are coming out at night and like hurting people, so we have the ability to fight them, so
Yeah.
let's do that and help people.
It's kind of like that, except the shadows don't hurt
That's
people.
what I was thinking, is they just stay in that one place, so who cares
Yeah,
if they're there or not.
Check, hello. Check, talking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone. We had some
for
technical
power.
difficulties with battery life and
Dying.
such.
Yeah. And these new batteries I put in didn't last nearly as long as the last ones, but
What kind of brand batteries were they, do you know?
Bad.
Well, aside from that.
Panasonic or something, I think.
Okay. Let me look and... Because I have...
That was Jason's knee.
Yeah.
So,
Ouch.
yeah.
I
That's
have
plugged
batteries
into
too,
computer.
and they're Rayovac or something dumb, but yeah, either way, they should last longer than, 40 minutes, whatever, and you said you replaced them recently.
Well, yeah, I think we only recorded 1 or 2 podcasts with these batteries, and we did about 5 of them before with the other one.
Yeah.
With the other ones I had.
Yeah, okay, so they should have lasted at least that long, because it's not like the podcast got any longer, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well. So anyway, Sonic 3D Blast was for... No.
That's not what we were talking about.
Persona
I think you were
3
talking
D
about
Blast.
shadows.
Yeah,
Persona
so
3D Blast.
what I was saying before...
They should make a Persona
everything-
3D Blast.
Yeah, that'd be cool. No, anyway, Actually, the dungeons in Persona 3, like the ground is all checkerboard looking, kind
Mm-hmm.
of like a Sonic world, except more resembling like chess with black and white instead of like brown colors.
3D Blast.
Sonic 3D Blast is for the Sega Genesis, and I think it's really fun, where most people don't. No. It's... Persona 3, man, I want to like it, and it just keeps not being as good as Persona 4, and I guess it's my fault for playing 4 first, but if I hadn't have played Persona 4, I never would have played 3. I would never even look at it, or I never even would have tried the first two, which are miserable,
Have
by
you
the
tried
way.
the first two?
Yeah, and I can't, like, Persona 3 I can at least play. The first two I just find insufferable, like, indecipherable, everythingable. They're just weird. I mean, it's still, like, the basic premise of, like, you're a kid in school or whatever, and then monsters come out of you, and you use them to fight other monsters, and...
Were any of the other Persona games popular at all?
I don't know. I mean, I know people have played them. They were both on PlayStation 1. But they have their own
I wonder if
set of problems that I have with them.
I wonder if Persona 4 was kind of like Final Fantasy, like the game that ended up saving that developer so that they could keep making games.
Yeah, kind of. It's like... Yeah, I mean, Atlas has been around for a long time. The Persona games are a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is...
Oh, where those were
yeah,
popular,
it's like a
right? Yeah.
long-running RPG or whatever in Japan. Which, in Japan, RPGs, especially around that era, like the late 80s, early 90s, they thrived. And they're still doing good. They always did way better than they ever did in America.
But then they tried the spin-off and it was shit.
Yeah,
At first, at least.
yeah, it's like I understand what they're doing, and the Shin Megami Tensei original ones, I think I could be wrong. I don't know. There's so many of them, but it's basically like a fantasy setting, totally fantasy, like medieval sorcerers or futury looking, like not. Persona set it apart because it was high school kids and everyday environment, and now they're summoning and fighting the same monsters I guess you would see in the other games like Jack Frost. And for that, that's cool. And I'm glad Persona eventually led to Persona 4 because it's now one of my all-time favorite games ever, which is not something I say often. I like Spelunker, but it's not one of my all-time favorite games.
I'm remembering I was looking at some gameplay of I think a DS or Game Boy Advance game. That was some kind of RPG. And I didn't even realize it was in the Shin Megami Tensei series. But I was watching the gameplay and all of a sudden like all these monsters started popping up. Or they were I think they were supposed to be demons in the game.
Okay.
And I'm like, these look awfully familiar.
Cool.
Yes, I'm in this game too.
Like a fairy and like they were using all
like
all the
pixie
same
and-
sprites too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the same sprites, except they were more pixely.
And yeah, I mean,
More pixely versions.
the
of
one
same.
I saw,
Yeah.
the one I saw was like a PlayStation 2 game, and ironically, it was, I don't know when it came out, but it was such lower quality compared to even Persona 3, but especially Persona 4. Like, it didn't have any voice acting. It was really bland looking. The fighting looked terrible. It was kind of pseudo real time with like some RPG elements, and it just didn't seem to work well. I don't know. Atlas has been around for a long time. They have a lot of like a good fan following, more cult following in America.
So they're not going
honestly.
anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. Well, actually, I think they got bought by Sega a while ago, but
Oh.
they're still them. They're still
Yeah, it's still the same.
it's still
team.
Atlas. They're still just at Sega now with them. It's not like Sega just bought them and made the name go
Well,
away.
they Sega pays them now, basically.
Pretty much. It's like their employer, basically. And Sega's not going to get rid of them because they know, at least in Japan especially, Atlas is a well-known name for RPGs and makes a lot of money. Persona 5 is going to come out later this year, I think, at least in Japan. Might be a bit longer for America because of all the translation stuff they have to do, but I'm really interested in Persona 5, but even then, it's still Persona 4. That world, those characters, I spent so much time with it and seeing all the S-links and how they develop, seeing the story and how it resolves. I know who the killer is, Wes. And you don't.
You're right, I don't.
Yeah. You should really play more. Come on, I'm begging you. Anyway.
It's like, okay, the Final Fantasy series is super popular and people that have played Final Fantasy generally want to play some of the other Final Fantasy games, but everybody's got their favorite one where they connect most with those characters in that story and so on. Because it's always different for every single one.
Yeah, every Final Fantasy is different, and that gives everyone a chance to like look at it in a fresh. Like Final Fantasy VIII was the first Final Fantasy I ever played, and I thought it was fucking amazing. Not just like the graphics and the music and everything, but the presentation. The GFs were like loud and crazy and cool looking, and the idea like, oh, this kid just goes to a school. I mean, it's weird, like neo future school looking stuff, but he goes to school and he's also in some kind of army school, so they fight, and that's cool. He's got a big sword and it's also a gun, and it's crazy. And it's funny because I remember looking at Final Fantasy VII around a similar period, and this was before I ever played Final Fantasy anything. I looked at 7 and went, that kind of looks crappy. The characters look like block people, and
they have the big blocky fists and stuff.
Then I just saw 8, and I know it's like judging a book by its cover, but then I saw 8, and I was like, holy crap, and I played it, and
well, it was a big improvement on graphic.
Yeah, it was like
definitely.
a huge jump.
It was the first time the battle sprites were the same as the outside sprites.
It was just because Final Fantasy VII was probably one of the first PlayStation games.
Yeah, so they had to get
released.
used to just doing 3D in general, which for that they did a good job. But with 8 they were able to perfect it because they had time to figure it out first. But that being said, Final Fantasy VII ended up being one of my favorite games ever. I played it through several
once you
times.
played it and got past the...
Yeah, so many times I played that game and just, that's so good, and I've done everything and all that, whatever. But Final Fantasy VIII, I've never finished. I mean, I've gotten real far in it, and I still enjoy it, and I can enjoy the memories I had of enjoying it even more. But if you ask me what one of my favorite Final Fantasies is, I'm going to pick like 7 or 4 or even the first one, maybe 6,
I like 5.
Yeah, 5 was good. And yeah, in the case of 1, 4, and 7 especially, those were the ones I played the most. And it's because I like them the most, and I like them the most because I played them the most. And same thing with Persona 4, kind of. I just wish Persona 3 would... I'm waiting for the moment still where it, like, grabs me, even if it's just the story, because I think the gameplay's out the window. I keep waiting for the moment where they're like, now you can control the characters directly. Because there's kind of that period in Persona 4 where they don't tell you about it, and you got Yosuke on automatic, and then you get a floor in, and he's like, oh, by the way, I don't want to cause trouble, so if you want to order me around, and you can.
Is there any of the running around town stuff where you can buy stuff from the stores and everything?
Yeah, you still do that.
So, like, maybe one time you'll show up at the store and they're like, hey, we started carrying coffee and now you can not be tired.
Yeah, something to wake up in the dungeon so I can do 3 more battles.
You want to stay up all night, kids? Here you go.
Hey, now we have Mountain Dew.
I don't know
Isn't
if there's
neat?
something like that.
Red Bull.
They have coffee shops in it. And that's the other thing, like, running around Inaba in Persona 4, it becomes a very personal experience after a while.
Now we carry Mount Fuji Dew.
Yeah. Oh, tap soda all the way. Or Orange Crush. Or Second Maid. Jokes. But yeah, running around Inaba, it's not too big because you got like the main street where the shops are. You have the riverbed outside your uncle's house, the school. Just enough to like, you can like run around, check all the areas, and feel thorough. You don't feel overwhelmed either. Persona 3, since it takes place in a bigger city, there's more places to run around, or they're more busy. There's like 1,000 shops in the shopping area. It's like, here's 10 different food places. Like, imagine if you had like the food places in Persona 4, like the Aya or whatever, and Junes, and then you had like 15 more of them. Yeah. And they all do the same thing. It's like, you want to spend time here? You might raise your stats, like intelligence or whatever. And it's like, why do I need so many options? Like, there's emulating real life, and then there's, like, convenience for the game and the player to not get confused, and you have to make a good balance. Persona 4 did, and Persona 3 doesn't.
Yeah, even though it takes place in a big city or whatever, there should be like one downtown strip or something that you can visit.
Yeah, here's all the shops, just like Persona 4. It's just, forgive the pun, it's not as personal of an experience. It's not as persona of an experience. Anyway,
That's funny.
yeah, I thought so. I'm gonna keep playing it. I hope there's at some point I can come back and say like, no, wait, it actually got real cool or something. Even if it's 20 hours in, eventually
the last 5 minutes of the game will be like hey, look, I played the last 5 minutes and they fixed everything that was wrong for the last 5 minutes, and then that was all.
It's worth mentioning. There's two versions. Yeah, there's Persona 3, and then there's a version of Persona 3 called Persona 3 FES, like FES, FES. That's how it's pronounced. I don't
Fez.
know why. No, that's something else. But basically, all it is like the same game, but then you can play like a continuation of the game afterwards, or even at the start if you want.
So there's more of the same bad game?
Yeah, there's more of the story, I
More-
guess, and characters.
More of the badness.
I don't know exactly what it entails, because it's like on the menu it's like you can pick this, but don't pick it unless you played the original, because otherwise you won't know what's going on. I'm like, I bet that won't help. So there is more to it that they felt they needed to make, so maybe there is a payoff, and to the point that at the end of the normal Persona 3 you're like, I wish there's more, I wish I could see what happens with these characters or whatever. So to the point that they made FES, because Persona 4, they made Persona 4 Golden for the Vita, and it adds a lot more stuff. It adds more characters, more S-links, more story beats, more. It makes the like a lot of the annoying nitpicky stuff of Persona 4 actually smoother. Like, you know how when you fuse two guys together you can't choose what spells they inherit?
Yeah, if you really want like a
And if you
couple
really
of
want
specific
something-
things, you have to do it over and
Yeah,
over
back
and over
out,
and over
select
until
them
you get
again, hope you get the right few. Yeah. In Persona 4 Golden, there's just a button that you can hit to re-roll it, or either that, or you can just pick the ones you want. I don't remember how it works. But anyway,
Even
it's
just
more... It's
hitting
easier.
a button to re-roll would be so
Yeah.
much more...
So much easier.
Yeah, it's so time-consuming. Go backing out and selecting the same ones again and again.
Yeah. And hoping you get the ones you want.
Usually I just like quit after a while. I'm like, well, that's close enough.
Yeah, I got 2 out of the 3 spells I want. I'm never going to get all 3 maybe, so fuck it.
Yeah, unless I do this for another hour.
I do that too, even though sometimes I sit there too long and kind of just, I know I could get my Tarukasha and Bufudine and Ice Boost all at once. I just want them so I can
Yeah.
do more ice damage because Chie doesn't have a good ice spell yet. But it's like, yeah, even the minor stuff I don't like about Persona 4, they seem to fix it. And honestly, it's the only reason I ever even considered for a second getting a PlayStation Vita because of Golden. And I don't want to, because ultimately it's like, what am I going to fucking play on this thing? They barely made any games for it because it sucks, and it sucks, so they barely made any games for it.
Other than Persona 4 Golden.
Other than Persona 4 Golden.
So it would
I mean,
be
there's
it
probably
would,
some
it
good
would become a Persona
ports.
4 Golden machine.
Basically, like, you could get, like, Spelunky on it or something. That's neat. But, honestly, I really would like to play Golden. If for nothing else, I'd like to see all the differences and crap they added. They added a whole new, like, character. Her name is Marie, and I don't even know what her deal is. But I know about her because of, the manga, the Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth manga game. They have that character in it because it takes place... Well, they wrote that book after they made Golden, so, like, we can add the stuff from Golden. Like, we know everyone who's a fan of this game played the update, right? And it's like, no, because I don't want a goddamn Vita. I want to play it, but maybe they'll eventually release it on, like, I don't know, PlayStation 3 or 4, just because they can and should, and probably already have, honestly, because they're releasing Persona 5 on it, and
Yeah.
I really want that, too, even though it's different. It looks cool. I have to reserve judgment first. It might be another Persona 3 for all I know. It might be I just am only a fan of Persona 4 and not the series at all. Not even the maker. But
Yeah.
anyway, Persona 3, I'll keep playing it. I hope it gets better. Persona 4, I'm definitely going to keep playing that for a long time because it's really good and everyone should play it at least once because it's so goddamn good.
Until
Like
you've
Chrono Trigger levels of awesome. You can even play a New Game Plus and keep all your dudes and money or whatever, and like go to the first dungeon and fight the first boss and do like 9,000 points of damage to her. Oh wow! I just beat Yuko's Shadow Thing in one hit. Ha 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 ha! It's so fun. It's so good.
Yeah, we got things called jobs that we have to do in order to survive.
Okay.
Yeah, jobs suck.
Yeah.
Play it in between job. Do job in Persona 4 and nothing else until one is complete.
You don't need to sleep. Sleep is not needed at all.
Hey, Lauren,
Yeah.
what's with that Predator figure you got?
Oh yeah.
He looks like Lego Man.
They're like
He's
semi-Lego-ish guys that you buy a little package and
Fagos.
you don't know what's in it.
It's a surprise, a
It's-
fun surprise.
It's
Yay.
one of
Fagos.
8 guys.
And then today you ended up getting a copy of one you already have.
Fagos.
How many do you have now?
Well, this is the 5th one, so it was a 50-50 chance of getting one I already had.
Oh,
But
so wait.
They come in a box or bag, whatever.
Until
and
now,
can't
have you
see.
not gotten a copy?
no, I had 4 of them.
That's pretty good.
Out of the 8 that you can get, I had 4. But I keep wanting to get a Predator that is cloaked. And it's
Oh.
basically just a clear, see-through figure of a Predator, which looks awesome.
I mean, I guess what they're trying to do is, hey, you should buy a bunch of them, and then when you have doubles, you should trade them to friends to get the ones you don't have.
Yeah.
Who else is collecting these weird little Lego
Exactly.
Predators?
Like any of those trinkets, like you pick up the box or bag or whatever, it's like, I sure hope
Or
there's
like
one
the-
inside that I
the
don't
little
have.
Sailor Moon
Yeah.
figures you were getting that were surprises also. It's like, well,
Yeah,
Fuck, I guess I have 2 of these
it,
now.
it's really
I
annoying
need to
because
buy
it's
a
like,
plane ticket to Japan so I can start trying to trade these on the street.
yeah, I've
With the little
resorted
girls
to like
who collect them.
feeling-
Wait, I'm not. Where are you hauling me away? No, I just wanted a trade figure.
But yeah, they come in little plastic bags, so I've resorted to like feeling the bag to try and see what's in there. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, that kind of feels like a Predator guy. And yeah,
You avoided a
There-
guy
there's one
with like a
that-
big backpack or
yeah,
something.
it's the K is from Predator 2, and he's got his big little
Wish I could feel the
backpack
box and
thing
tell
on
what's
from
in
when
it.
they
I
go
can't.
into
And
the
you're like,
the
that feels awfully
meat locker.
bulky.
And it's like, well, I know which character that is. And
Yeah.
no, I don't want that guy.
Meat locker
I want
library.
Predator guy.
At least these guys come in a bag where you can kind of try and guess,
Yeah,
rather than the Sailor Moon figures come in little cardboard boxes. I
yeah.
think.
There's 4 Predators and 4 humans, and 2 of the Predators are cloaked, and I've got 2 of the Predators that aren't cloaked. They're the ones
And
that
you
I've
really
got.
want a cloaked predator
And
right
I want
now.
a cloaked Predator, damn it. And then I have 2 of the
Good
human
luck.
guys, and it's like, but damn it. And then I saw
Well,
advertisements that come with the little pamphlet that they have alien ones too with the xenomorphs. And I looked at that and was like, I'm glad they don't have those at the comic book shop because I'd be buying all of them trying to get the xenomorphs.
I remember when Jason was getting some of the Sailor Moon figures, the mystery ones. They would sometimes have opened ones at the store that people had brought back because
Yeah,
they got a
because
double.
they got duplicates or whatever. And they're
But
like,
I don't know
"Fine."
if anybody else is buying these things other
Yeah,
than you.
It's probably just me.
A couple of times I was able to like trade ones I already got for like,
I wonder
oh, I
if-
don't have that one. I'll trade this other one. And they're like, sure.
I wonder if they'd let you bring your
I
double
can't even
back
feel. I don't even have the luxury of feeling a
And,
box.
and trade it for an unopened one.
Did I say that out loud?
What? Box?
Nothing. Never mind.
But yeah,
Maybe you could bring it back and they'd let you trade it for an unopened
Yeah,
one.
maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It is a Predator, but it's like, yeah, I already have a Predator in this Predator.
Collect 8,000
Exactly,
of them.
but-
Build a coffee table.
I can make an army of shaman Predators from Predator
Sure.
2.
Yeah, why not?
But
And have him destroy all your Lego guys.
he would be really, really tall to a Lego character.
Yeah, he'd be like twice as tall at least.
Almost. But yeah, they're cool. And like I said, if they had the Xenomorph ones, I'd be like, yeah, I gotta buy all of these.
You just like scoop up 10 of them at a time
Yeah, I probably would, but the Predators are cool.
and
And I really wish I could get one that was cloaked.
Oh well.
because that would be fun.
I don't like mystery toys. I like to know what I'm buying.
Yeah, that is the downside. It's like with the first one, it's like, well, I can't lose because it'll be something I don't have.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I got a Predator guy from the Predators movie. It's one of the newer, bigger Berserker Predators. It's like, okay, that's cool. Well, let's try another one. Oh, I got a human guy.
Boring.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Well, he came with this stupid, gun and knife and all this stuff that fits on his holster, which is kind of cool.
He came with a weird helmet, and then you can take the helmet off.
Well, that was the third one I got.
And then you can stick his hair on. Oh.
The third one I got, it's like I got smart. And it's like, okay, well, let's try and feel it and see what... Well, the Predator... Hey, look, that feels like a Predator mask. Okay, I'm going to get this one. Oh, it's the human guy from Predators that's insane and has the Predator mask. Well,
but then you can take the
close.
helmet off, and he's bald. But then it comes with a little piece of hair, like
That
a
you can
Lego
stick on.
hair that you can stick on there.
Yeah. So it's like, well, it's close. Well, let's try it with the fourth one I get. Well, I actually got this guy here, the shaman guy. So then I got him again for the number 5. So I got the same guy twice in a row.
I'm also looking at an old Dungeons and Dragons book with a toothy hole in the ground with tentacles.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a sarlacc, except it's like a plant thing with
It's
octopus
surrounded by
tentacles.
grass and trees instead of sand.
And you could go find out what it is if you played this dungeon module.
Nah.
But it's fun. It's an old D&D thing because I really like the old advanced D&D stuff from TSR, and this is the S3 Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. It came with a picture book.
I would gladly play D&D if we could find at least 2 other people that are willing to play it consistently.
Yeah.
But that's hard.
But this one was awesome because it had sci-fi elements.
I want a 4th player to play Mario Party.
Is it
with
that
us all
where
the
like
time, but it's not
if they
gonna
find
happen.
if they find like a ray gun or something, you have to roll and there's a chance that they're gonna blow their face off with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah.
They came up with this really cool little chart thing, which looks really complicated when you look at it,
I see circles and triangles and arrows.
and lots of numbers. But yeah,
What the crap is this?
it's to simulate ignorance of what you've got. I mean, if I describe
I've
like
got ignorance of this.
if I describe a gun, anybody's gonna be
I
like,
want
"Well,
it
I
that
pointed
way."
at the thing and pulled the trigger," and it's like that's no fun. You can't do that. So you
Right.
literally,
Because these
But I have a
peop-
gun. I want to shoot things.
But these people aren't supposed to know what a gun is.
yes, they're medieval people. They don't know what a gun is or power armor.
I do.
And so, yeah, they have to roll to determine if they get closer to figuring it out or if they make it blow up in their face.
So it can be destroyed or it can be successfily used somehow.
And you can kind of waste,
Or
Ammo
it becomes
and-
discharged and person is hurt.
yes, or killed. Because grenades.
Ouch.
What is this thing that looks like a fruit and a pin? And I pull this out, and now it's... What is this?
It's like a miniature
Boom.
pineapple. Boom.
Yeah, kind of fun thing. But it would be really awesome because this was like designed for like really, it was one of the stupid convention things. And you'd play it with like 10 to 15 people.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that's what it said. It was designed for
I don't think
upwards
that
of
I
10 to
even know
15
10
people.
to 15 people.
Yeah, let alone that many people who want to sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it of course with any Dungeons and Dragons thing, you could scale it to however many people you want. That wouldn't be that hard. But it's awesome because I happened to see it at a store and it was only like it wasn't even $10. It was pretty cheap.
Where'd you
And-
find? What store did you find it?
The card shop. Yeah, the Magic Card Shop.
Oh yeah.
It was in there one time. I happened to look, and it's like it actually has, because it had two different screens that had all the maps, which odds are you'd lose one. Then it
Mhm.
had 2 books, one that's got all the information, and then one that's got pictures that you show to the people as they find them. It's like, hey, look, there's a robot. It looks like this. Hey, look, there's writing. It looks like that, because you can't understand their writing because it's alien writing. And giant slug thing. Isn't that neat?
That is neat.
Of course, some of the things that they show pictures for, like one of the guns, looks incredibly, like, not ergonomically
Oh, the bracelet
comfortable
gun.
to use. Because, yeah,
the
it's like
bracelet
this,
gun thing where
it's
you
like this bracelet, and you got to imagine, like, putting your hand out to shake somebody's hand, and then putting your wrist as far down towards the ground as possible, and then grabbing something to pull a trigger. And, yeah, that just hurts my hand.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So, yeah, I would definitely change descriptions on some of the things, but it would be fun because there's stuff.
Is that a marijuana leaf?
It looks like drugs.
Look at the bodybuilder guy.
It's from the 70s. It must be drugs.
But
Wow, no one has muscles like him. This must be a fantasy.
I
It
just
is
want people
Hey,
to
that looks like a Star
1979.
Trek communicator.
Or is
That's
it?
impossible.
Or a tricorder.
No one could have a communicator that small. It's only the size of a book. Wow.
I guess you should play and find out.
No.
Or find out what this complicated contraption thing is.
It's an antenna attached to a loaf of bread. And a lollipop.
It's like a Rorschach test. What is this thing?
Actually, this kind of looks like an ocarina. Without the holes.
It's the result of someone doing drugs in the 70s.
It is
'cause
an
they're
unholy
boring.
ocarina. That is what it is. Unholy ocarina.
That was kind of funny.
Or you got this picture here of the sci-fi backdrop with guys with swords fighting other thingies with like green tentacle things coming out of them.
And poop logs? Oh, clubs. Never mind.
Yeah, it's their shit. They just use it as a club.
It's like the most stereotypical looking caveman club ever.
Yeah. In a space room.
Yeah.
Like, where would you ever find a piece of wood shaped like that?
Yeah, on a spaceship.
Where it's all narrow at one end and then gets all super wide at the other end and then rounds out perfectly. That's not how branches grow.
Totally is. Maybe it's a rock. That's how rocks grow, right? Rocks grow like that.
Yeah, that's true. A stalagmite.
With it completely rounded where it broke off from the ceiling or
Yeah.
the floor.
Maybe they just polished it round.
They like to
Ground
polish
it
their
down.
club, huh?
Yep.
I can see that.
I polish my club every day.
Oh, gross.
Wait, what are we talking about? I thought we were talking about clubs.
Is that... So Space Dandy's a cool
But-
thing.
But yeah, I like reading old D&D things, and I wish I had more, but you can't find them unless you're really, really lucky and happen to see one way underpriced because they didn't know what they had. Because this is actually a really
Yeah.
rare one.
Still kind of upset I didn't buy that D&D box set thing that I found at the thrift store.
Yeah, those are
I don't
fun.
know why I didn't. It's just-
That's where I've gotten like pretty much all of my old D&D things is from thrift stores that people have thrown it in there because they don't know what it is and they're like,
yeah.
hey, look, here's this thing, $5.
The one I found had a vampire on the front.
Oh, that was probably Ravenloft. That's a good
Do you
one.
have that one?
No,
Oh.
but it's supposedly really, really good story setting. And yeah, it would be a fun one. But you look on eBay and it's like, here's the thing for $5, or you might see it for $50. And it's like, I hate eBay. People, and they're just like random number. Here's a thing for $20 maybe?
Here, 35 cents.
Yeah.
$18 shipping.
And then
That too.
And then it'll start saying this is trending at 1503.
That's douchey.
Why?
Trending?
Trending? There's been 2 that have sold for like $15.
I think it's just something like that.
One sold for $30 and one sold for $5.
The average price
So
that people are selling
15.
this for is this.
it shouldn't be an average price. It should just.
Well, it's like those Chobit books. I mean, there's eBay things, listings. You can get all of them for like $10, or you could get one for like 30. And it's like, why?
Just whoever's selling it decides to be a dick face or not.
It's like, I'll put it on here for $30, and hey, look, it didn't sell. Imagine that.
You'll never find it anywhere else ever because it's super rare.
Although you did say you saw number 3 and 4 of 8.
Yeah, I did see 3 and 4 at a bookstore around here.
But then I wouldn't have number 2, even though I've read them all online. Yeah. It is good.
I bet those Chobits mangas will still be sitting on that shelf when we go there next week.
Probably.
You
Because
can get them.
who wants number 3 and 4? Because why would you have just 3 and 4 of some series?
Actually, I think there was number 3 and then 2 copies of number 4.
That's like the One Punch Man when I
Christ.
was looking at Walmart, and it's like, oh, here's like 3 copies of number 6, but none of number 7.
TV's making a whiny noise. It's bugging me.
Ew, yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't turn off on its own.
Yeah,
Yeah, some TVs do that.
I don't know if this one does or not.
I know mine does.
It's got a devil disc on the top of it though that
Oh yeah,
you
that
can control
weird
it with.
knobby discs.
It's just a plastic
thing that-
disc that you can push in weird directions and it does things and I can't figure it out.
I can't even figure
That's
out the power switch on
interesting.
the front because like you go to press it to turn it on, it
If
turns
you-
on, but then you try and turn it off. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Like if you press it on one side, it'll do something else. Like it'll do the volume or something.
Yeah, that's-
It's really strange.
Why?
If I ever lose the remote for that TV, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna throw it away and buy another one because I
Yeah.
won't be able to figure it out.
Preferably one with HD port.
I mean, you'd have to spend like 5 years figuring it out, write it all down, tape it to the wall beside the TV, like instructions for TV use.
Yeah,
You'll just have to
it's
get
like
a new TV.
trying to figure out that Sega pad where you're standing in the middle of it and
Oh yeah, the activator.
yeah, it's trying to figure that thing
If you
out.
move over here, it's a low kick. If you move over here, it's like pressing up and forward and B all at once. So in this one game, it's like an attack, and everything else, it's like falling on your ass while doing a spasmy backwards crouch walk.
That'll be like using my TV without the remote.
Yeah, it's even all circly like the activator. Well, it's more like an octagon or something, but yeah, same premise.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm gonna go in circles and something might happen.
I actually think I'd rather use an activator to control my TV than that disc thing.
Yeah.
At least I get some exercise out of it.
Yeah. Might even be
I can't
more
figure out how to
consistent.
change the channel.
Well, that between 2 recordings of one podcast,
Hopefully
Yeah.
we can figure out how to combine them together into one cohesive whole so everyone can hear me and go, what a cohesive whole.
what happened? It just cut off in mid-sentence.
Probably purposely have a black hole in the middle now, just for fun.
You should have a picture of Persona 3 and then me just going thumbs down sadness.
Or with static. When it cuts out, just go to static for like 5 seconds.
Or just a picture of Charlie Tunoku in front of the TV watching the Midnight Channel, and on the Midnight Channel is Persona 3, and it's all staticky and stupid looking, and Charlie looks sad.
Or you could have one of those things where it's like has elevator music and some guy with a bunch of wires shrugging his shoulders, going, "Oops, sorry, technical difficulties."
Oh yeah,
or
one of those
whatever.
like dumb cartoons when something horribly breaks and it's ruining everyone's day, and they just think it's okay by doing little cartoon man like, technical difficulties, we'll be right back. I'm missing the Super Bowl, and I'm stuck in an elevator, and my phone doesn't work, and my fucking heart thing is busted, and microwaving the room, and technology needs to work, and even when it does, it's stupid for sometimes not working. Boo.
Okay,
Yeah. What?
sure.
All right.
So Sonic 3D Blast is
No.
Mario Party is great, and Persona, and